Hey, everybody. I just wanted to talk about the post I made yesterday that for some reason I'm always surprised when people are really upset or like offended or just like angry about certain posts. I just genuinely was like not expecting people to be that, I guess, first of all, ignorant, but also just so pissed about something that if I were lying, then they would have the right to be angry. I'm not going to say that this is one of those times where I'm like, just mind your business, this is about my life. Like, no, I do think that bullshit contributes to stigma that already exists for people who are mentally ill or addicts or whatever. And I genuinely just posted it because I'm like, I document my life. Like, this sucks. And I will acknowledge I take 100% of the blame that I looked like I was grimacing in pain, like physical anguish. And I didn't think about it like that, genuinely. I felt like shit, like from being so fucking anxious. I was just in bed all day. Like, I could not get out of bed. Like, I felt so paralyzed, I guess. I feel dramatic, but like, I was tossing and turning, and I felt the most anxious I felt since probably, I don't know, high school maybe, which is pretty bad, but that was probably when it was at its worst. But the point is that when I said detoxing, or cletoxing as I call it, I mostly meant, when I thought of a cletox, cletoxing the poison that is clalcohol out of my body. But also, I mean, I know what withdrawal, you know what I mean? I feel like so many people think, when they think of withdrawal, they think of, like, I gave an example yesterday of the fucking Basketball Diaries with Leonardo DiCaprio, where he's like detoxing from heroin and he's on the ground, like horrific shit. And I'm just like, I didn't post it to be like, I am suffering so much and going through so much anguish, and I am, like, I wouldn't have written like, this sucks. I wouldn't have, like, I probably wouldn't have posted it because I wouldn't have been able to post it at that time. Like, no shit. But, like, you can have withdrawals, like, from caffeine, from weed, believe it or not. People think that's hilarious when you talk about that because people like to pretend that weed isn't a drug for some reason. I club my cleed, but, like, it's a drug. Caffeine's a drug. Like, why would we, like, I don't know why people are so willfully ignorant or just plain ignorant. They just really are uneducated about weed. But like, I know plenty of people who smoked every single day for years, and when they stopped, they got shitty ass stomach problems, pun intended, insomnia, irritability, all these fucking things. Like, I pretty much did every day for about a year, and when I stopped, like, my stomach was fucked up, and I was like, is that what this is? Like, I didn't really know that was a thing until that was a thing until I talked to, some other people, and I did some research. Google is right there, free for you to utilize, but people just, the problem, I think, is that everybody has to have an opinion, even if they genuinely don't know what the fuck they're talking about. It's either my dad, who was an addict and drank every day for 30 years, had real withdrawals, he actually was having withdrawals. Or it's like, I saw this in a movie, or I heard from so-and-so, so that means that your shit is fake. You can have mild withdrawals, which means anxiety, depression, irritability, having trouble thinking, like all these fucking things. And someone was like, oh, you Googled this to have it match the bullshit you're spewing. I'm like, that's what I was feeling. And I looked it up and I was like, oh, that's what I'm experiencing. Like, I don't get why people think that this is so complex. And it's just so funny because it's like everybody, anytime I've, like, people are like, oh, you must have been drinking a lot. How much were you drinking? And I'm just like, every time I drank or alcohol was visible in a video, I'm told that I need help and I need to stop. As soon as I admitted that, like, I have a problem and didn't want to use the word alcoholic, as soon as I admitted that, ever since then, anytime that there's a slight glimpse of it in a video, people are like, you need to stop drinking, you need to stop drinking, you need to stop drinking, you're an alcoholic. And then as soon as I'm like, yeah, I really do need to fucking stop. And I acknowledge that, and I document it like I fucking document everything else. I'm faking and I'm insulting real alcoholics. And that whole notion of a real alcoholic is the fucking reason why I got into this fucking mess in the first place. I don't have a problem. I'm not like those people over there. That just fucking contributes to the stigma that fucks over addicts all the fucking time. Like, people like to pretend they give a shit, but they don't, because their fucking dumbass opinion that's not based on anything factual is more important than, you know, I don't know. I have to look bad, I guess. When I'm fucked up and I'm doing bad, I'm bad. When I'm like, I'm trying to fix myself, I'm bad. Like, what the fuck? And that's why I do what I want, because you can't please people. Like, you just can't. And the reason I'm making this fucking video is because I'm just like, it reminds me of the OCD shit. When I say I have OCD and people say, you can't have OCD, your house is a mess. Like, how are people this dumb in 2019? I mean, I hate to do the whole, like, it's 2019, but oh my God, it's 2019 and you're this stupid? And people are gonna be like, you're so rude to your followers, you insult them. I'm sorry, if you're fucking stupid, you're stupid. Like, I don't care if you're my mom, my sister, my dad, my fucking cat, my son, who is also a cat. I don't give a shit. You know what I mean? Like, if you're saying something dumb, I'm gonna tell you it's dumb. Like, people like to say, I can't handle the truth. Y'all can't handle the truth. And this is not to the people who were concerned and were like, you know, oh, that can be dangerous, blah, blah, because I admit, I did not provide enough context to explain initially, like, this is not like severe fucking detox where I need to be in a hospital situation. Like, that I acknowledge, that's totally fair. But as soon as I clarified and said, no, like, I'm talking about, like, you know, mild withdrawals, you know, which is a thing, I'm still told I'm a liar, this is for attention. If you were actually experiencing this, you wouldn't be making videos. And I'm just like, or I wouldn't be posting, whatever the fuck. So exhausting how miserable and fucking stupid people are and uneducated they are. And I don't care if this is offensive. I really don't, because you need to hear it. Like, everybody tells me every damn day, you're a loser and you're a bum and you're disgusting, but you need to hear it. And that's why I'm giving you tough love. Which, let me just say, if that's how you love your friends and family, I feel really fucking bad for them and for you, because that ain't love. That's just plain fucked up rudeness. Anyway, I wanted to read some wonderful comments that I received, because I just want to highlight just how, I don't know what word to use, but just some of the clignorance that I have been observing. And I want to say, while this is loading, I really appreciate people who have been supportive, you know, people who have commented saying I'm an alcoholic and, you know, you're right, you can't experience mild withdrawals. Like, you know, I don't think this is fake because, like, I've been there, or I've actually done my research. Thank you. I appreciate it. Oh, here's a nice one. This is a comment that is, well, actually, let me start with the negative and then we'll end on the positive. So this girl says, you will drink again. You're way too unstable in the environment you're in. Yeah, good luck though. Like, how miserable are you to just tell someone that you will drink again? Like, what? Who says that? What's wrong with you? Who raised you? Nobody, I hope. I mean, that'll give you an excuse for being such a fucking piece of shit. And when I say nobody, I don't mean like, I mean literally like raised by wolves type of nobody. This person says, you obviously think detoxing is a joke until you see someone who can't stop throwing up, shaking, sweating, and hallucinating. You're a fucking waste of life and a complete joke. Nobody would bat an eye if you died today. So why don't you do yourself and society a favor, in all caps, and go do that. I'll pray for you. And then Casey May said, hey, maybe if more people were honest about detoxing, the stigma attached to it would help, would lessen, and more people would get help. Like, what the fuck is wrong with humans? LLB is struggling with alcohol dependence. She does the shit it takes to get back to sobriety. You rip her apart. She starts drinking again. You rip her apart. She shows herself struggling. You rip her apart. The people on here hating just enjoy hating and being miserable. Like, what the fuck could she do to make you happy, and why should she? Perfectly said. I think that sums it up. People will never be happy because the ones who are so angry and aggressive are not happy with themselves. Like I said, the people who were like, you know, you need to go to a hospital, that can be very dangerous. I don't blame you because the picture was misleading. I acknowledge that. And when I post shit like that, I genuinely think, like, the way that I know it's happening, you know what I mean? I know how I was feeling and like why I posted it. And when I post certain shit, I just assume that people are gonna like get it and see it from my point of view, which is my fault. I take full responsibility for that. So this is not hating on people who were genuinely concerned and were like, you should go to a hospital, blah, blah. I'm not calling you stupid, because I get that that was misleading. And this is not against the people who, who genuinely thought that I was trying to say that, and they're like confused. You know what I mean? This is against people who were acting as if it's impossible to have mild withdrawals, or people who think that you have to be drinking for years to even have severe withdrawals. You could be drinking for weeks straight, not months, not years, weeks, and experience hallucinations, vomiting, sweating, all that shit. Like, it's literally on the internet. You can Google it and read it for yourself. And then people will be like, can't believe everything you read on the internet. But for some reason, they believe like the comments of people who agree with them, on Facebook. Interesting. But yeah, I feel like shit. Basically called Clobbin and tried to bully him into telling me where my passport is, which did not work because he is a saint and he is wonderful, and I am a piece of shit for putting him through trash time and time again. And I feel really, 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 really awful. So, and I do think that this is the first time that comments have kind of gotten to me a little bit, but I am not a victim and I am strong, and it is my decision. If I did drink again, it would not be because of comments, it's because I chose to. So, like I said, I take full responsibility for the misleading photos, because I can totally see how it looked like I was like really like going through some shit, like vomiting and all that shit. But that's not how I meant. That was literally the face of absolute fucking anguish from anxiety. And some girl, so kind, she told me that it's mind over matter, the mental stuff that I'm experiencing, as if that is, it's that simple. Mind over matter. I just gotta think it away, and I won't fucking feel like, anymore. That's that simple. God, I wish I'd realized that back when I was 15 and took a whole bottle of pills. Mind over matter. Also, people love to say that I do this for money or views or whatever the fuck. Like, this is not going to get monetized. I'm talking about taboo subjects. You're not allowed to talk about mental illness or alcohol or anything important, basically. So yeah, there's that. And I don't think many people will watch this because I am not screaming or fighting or being a mess or whatever, I think a lot of people, most people sadly, want to see me fail and want to see me be a fucked up piece of shit. So that's their loss. And to those of you who did watch this entire thing, wow, thanks, because I don't think I made any fucking sense, but I hope that I did, if that makes sense. Have a class day. Don't let the claters get you down. And it's okay to like argue with me about like my life and stuff, but when it comes to just straight up facts, you look really, really fucking dumb.